What up? What up? Doing some fantasy football advice here live in Tampa on a little vacation, and I don't shut it down. I don't take time off. I'm in Tampa. You can see the downtown Tampa City behind me, and I'm ready here to talk fantasy football with you guys. What's up, Jason? What's up, Rapture? What's going on? What's up, Gabe? Hit me with some questions. What's up, Eric? I'm in Tampa. No signs of any life here. Not. This place is pretty cool, man. I've never been to Tampa before. It's been raining all day. Excuse me. Any Tampa folks here? Drop a line. If you are here, let me know where. What's up, Gary? What's up, Rich? I'm going to answer fantasy football questions for a little bit, but we're going to talk about some news and notes, things going around the league. We got Ezekiel Elliott in the news again. Melvin Gordon still all over the place. Will Melvin Gordon hold out the entire season? Will he hold out into week one? Will he crumble? Will the Chargers offer him a deal that makes sense for both sides? That's kind of my thinking. That's where I think this will happen. You got fam in Tampa? What's up, Larry? So, anyways, let's talk about Zeke. Zeke Elliott is now, there's rumors that he will be potentially looking at a holdout situation if the Cowboys and him don't come to an agreement. Now, here's my take on this. I don't freak out about this one at all. Melvin Gordon could hold out. He could be a more likely holdout candidate, I think, than Zeke. Zeke has even said, Yahoo confirmed a little while ago that there's a potential that he would, quote unquote, nix the holdout, meaning he would not follow through with it if he thought that the Cowboys had really strong intentions on getting a deal done. That to me right there tells me that this is probably not going to be one of those holdout situations. So very different, I think, than the Melvin Gordon one in terms of will Zeke actually hold out. I don't think Zeke will. Now, I also think that when Melvin Gordon falls to a certain place in that second round, like 2.02, 2.03, would I gamble on him in every draft? No, I wouldn't. What's up, Balls Life? Would I take him in a grip of drafts? Probably not. But do I want shares of Melvin Gordon in at least one or two of my leagues, which is not even 10% of my drafts? I'd say I do 15 leagues. So in one or two leagues, I probably easily would take a gamble on Melvin Gordon at 2.02, 2.03. So I really, really, really like that value. How are these keepers? Gurley for a fifth, Juju for a 10th. Trade Gurley while you can, my friend. Not a fan of Gurley at all this year. I think that he still has some value. You can maybe trade him away. But fifth round value isn't bad, but if you can get something for it, definitely trade him. Juju, I love. Great job. So my prediction is that Zeke Elliott won't hold out. I don't think you should drop him in your rankings. I don't think this will be a big deal. I could be wrong. Lev Bell taught us that anything can happen. But I think these are very, very different situations between Gordon and Zeke. Gordon probably won't, I don't even think, miss a week one or week two. But his holdout could linger enough into the offseason to present that injury concern problem that happens when a player holds out. When you hold out, as an NFL running back especially, and you hold out kind of lengthy, then you oftentimes are more susceptible to injury. So if I were you, I would tread lightly when it comes to Gordon in terms of adding him to a bunch of your rosters, but definitely don't run for the hills. Rich says, trade Gurley for Henderson. I would. How do you feel about Bell? I like Bell. I don't think he's a bargain, and I don't think he's too much of a risk. He's priced about right in that 9 or 8 to 11 range. Bell could easily earn top 5 running back numbers. He could also go the other way and play more like a top 10 guy. Unless he got hurt, I don't see Bell finishing outside the top 10. So I think he earns you your value. So he's not a bad, the only risk is injury. Will sitting out a whole year hurt him? We don't know. We don't really have a case to look at where a guy at his elite level, as good as he was, holds out an entire year, never showed signs of decline, holds out an entire year and comes back. We don't know what that's going to look like. So everybody's guessing at this point. We're taking educated guesses, but we don't know. Trade Gurley, yep. You have Zeke, Mahomes, Fournette. Pick 2 keepers. Zeke and Mahomes. That's as easy as can be, my friend. I do not keep Fournette as a keeper. You can draft Fournette back a lot easier than you can draft Mahomes back, but I don't know why you'd want to draft Fournette back unless you could trade him. What happens if you get Henderson? Then you should still trade Gurley. And then you have Henderson and that player that you can trade for. But it depends on what you can trade for. If you can't trade for anything, thank you, James, for the super chat. If you can't get anything good, then keep it. Ride them till the wheels fall off. What's up, Manchester? I'm in Tampa. If you can't tell, this is not a green screen. This is the city of Tampa on a small vacation, and I never shut it down. Always live, always cranking out content, and I thought this would be a good place, a good shot to do a little live stream Q&A with you guys, talk about the news. Melvin, Gordon, Zeke Elliott, other players in the news. Lindsay is supposedly back to 100%. It was a wrist injury. Not too concerned. That's not something that's going to worry me about 2019. Honestly, I think Lindsay's very undervalued. I don't like him as a second or third rounder or anything, but when you can get Lindsay, who could be a top 12 running back in the 5th round on occasion, I think that's pretty damn good value. Should you keep Damian Williams or Nick Chubb with an 8th round keeper pick in a keeper draft? I assume, or it's like a 1, 2, 3 year or a long-term keeper, Ryan. Kind of determines it for me. If it's like 2 years or something, then, Damian Williams is probably as good a keeper. And I would say that try and get Hunt no matter what. Try everything you can do to get Hunt and cuff him. And if you can have Hunt and Chubb, I like that better. But Damian Williams is top 5 to 10 material in 2019. So much depends on what that keeper aspect looks like. But even Chubb, I think if you don't have Hunt, Chubb's keeper value is a little bit sketchy in 1 to 2 years from now, just because of his aggressive running style and his injury history. Josh Jacobs or Montgomery? Montgomery by a mile, Andrew. We've talked about this so much on the channel, so I'll keep it short so I don't beat a dead horse on it because it is a topic I have beaten to death. But Montgomery has proven it. Jacobs has not. Jacobs has the size, the build, the situation, sure. But so does Montgomery. And Montgomery has a long resume and a track record, whereas Jacobs, he's run for 640 yards in college as his best rushing season ever. We don't know. He hasn't been tested. He hasn't been able to prove that he can do it at a college level at starter carries. Not his fault, but he still hasn't done it. He was on a team that couldn't use him full-time, but that doesn't matter. We haven't seen it. Montgomery by a long mile, not just a little bit. I think Montgomery is going to have top 25 overall value in redraft in mid-August. I think you'll have to take him at the tail end of the 2nd round if you want to own David Montgomery in redraft. Yes, Larry, don't forget the thumbs up on your way in, please. And if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe, guys. I want to make this channel the biggest fantasy football channel in the business, and with your help, we can do it from the ground up. You guys are a part of something. And this community rocks. You guys are one of those most active communities for the size that I've seen on any fantasy channel. So what's up, Carrie? What's up? Yeah, the only thing about Montgomery that concerns me a little bit is he was almost overworked in college. A lot of tread on those tires, or a lot of tread taken off those tires, I guess you could say. What's up? Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. What up, Robin? Aloha. Glad you could catch me live. And there are a lot of people saying that I do a lot of late night videos. So I'm in Tampa. I'm on Eastern time, and I'm doing an Eastern late night live versus a West Coast late night live. So some of you West Coasters are probably like, what is he doing on this early? What's going on, Lucky? Williams in the 15th easily. Any running backs you like in San Fran? I mean, yeah. Or Tampa. Tampa, Rojo at the right price. In San Fran, I love Tevin Coleman at 5th and 6th round value. Do I like him in the 3rd? No. So all depends. I was reading that Williams for 15th. Let me read the actual question above. Jason, hold on 1 second. 0.5 PPR, 1 year keeper. Should you keep Damian Williams in the 15th or Lindsay in the 15th? Damian Williams by a long mile. Luck in the 8th is good, but you could draft Luck probably in the 7th anyway. So always ask yourself, where can I draft these players? Who would I not be able to draft back more so than the others? And if the answer is Damian Williams, you could have a tougher time drafting him back, then that's your answer. It's very simple with keeper questions. I get a lot of these all the time, and I always tell people, ask yourself out loud, who is going to be the tougher player to draft back? That is probably the answer for who your keeper is. Breda, a sneaky guy? No, I don't think so. Could I be wrong? Yeah, but I don't think about that one. Am I personally scouting Rojo? No, I am not, but tag him. Yay, no 1 a.m., Jared says. I'm in Tampa. I'm on Tampa time. I'm doing a live for you East Coast people. I kept you in mind, and I said, hey, I take a lot of crap for not doing earlier stuff. East Coast in the house. That's right, Fantasy. Brady, nice live. Glad you're here. Kerry Duke, East Coast rules. First 7 rounds of your draft, Jason. Kamara, Evans, Henry, Cooks, Galladay, Rodgers, and McDonald. How's your draft? Kamara, Evans, Henry, Cooks. Yeah, not bad. I'd be interested who is available at your round 3 and round 4 picks, but I do love that. You got Rodgers late. Fantastic job. MVS worth a shot in wide receiver. MVS and Allison together are worth a shot. And I don't recommend you handcuff wide receivers too often, if I ever have before. The only time I've ever remember even suggesting that is Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman before when Hill was supposedly never going to play in the NFL again. He was the best handcuff duo that I talked about and pumped up for about, 2 weeks before that ended up getting ruined as one of my secret recipes for drafting a wide receiver 1 late. So very few people in a 2-week window got to take advantage of that. But my only other one left is Geronimo Allison, and Valdez-Scantling. You can cuff these guys together very, 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 very late. And when you're talking about one of them, most definitely dropping 1,000 and 5 to 7 TDs, that's a damn good wide receiver 3. And if it requires you to cuff 2 guys together very, very late in your draft, why not do it when it guarantees you a really good producing receiver? Robin, Juju becomes top 5 wide receiver overall. That's not that bold, Robin. I mean, most people have him right about there. Not trying to tear down your bold prediction. I'm just saying you're not off at all. A lot of people are going to agree with you. I think you'd have to call him number 1 to get any kind of bold, jaw dropping. But you'll probably still have a couple people in your corner there. But Juju easily could be top 5. Jason, now ask him if Barkley is a good player. I don't know what that means. Honest Abe, 43 in chat, only 17 likes. Come on, says Abe. I agree with Abe. 47 people in the room. We're around 45 to 55 people in the room, and we only have 24 thumbs up. What's up with that? In Tampa, doing a live breakdown on the Bucks, maybe? Anybody knows Tampa well? Where's the Bucks Stadium? I don't know where it's from here. What's with the thumbs? I don't know. There's always one guy. There's always some troller that hits thumbs down. I'm here trying to give you fantasy advice, and you're going to hit thumbs down on me. Here answering your questions free of charge, trying to help you, and you're going to hit a thumbs down on me. That's a hater right there. Fuller, Pettis, Kirk, Marvin Jones in the 7th. Who you taking? Maybe Kirk, man. I like Pettis a lot. Kirk or Pettis. I'm not going with Fuller. Fuller could disappoint. Marvin Jones, I don't know about. Detroit's going to be running a lot. They're going to be running a ton. And I don't think they have room for 2 big, big name guys. That's right, Silver. A haterade. What's up, Mark? Who's a tight end I can grab in the later rounds nobody knows about? Nobody knows about I'd say like Goddard could be like, I don't know. But if you're talking about a guy that could be top 5, like I don't have a guy this year that I think has like top 5 potential that can be had really, really late. You're looking at one guy, David Njoku for the Cleveland Browns, who I think is going to be the number 4. He's my number 4 tight end. And I think that if you can grab him in the 9th or 10th, you're hitting a home run, because I think he has 9 to 10 TDs this year. And even if he only has 800 or 900, whatever yards, you're talking about a 10 TD guy outside of those top 3 guys that finishes number 4 or 5. Why is no one talking about Garoppolo? He was he's super cheap. I like Jimmy Garoppolo. I think the reason you're not hearing a lot of people talk about him is because the QB pool is so deep. So you have tons and tons of QBs, and when you get to that range, literally from like, he could be number 8 or 9 or 10, Garoppolo, or he could be 20, and he really wouldn't be that far off from the 8 or 9 or 10 guy. So, and that doesn't say to me to wait on a QB just because number 10 or 9 is like 10 or 20 points away from like number 20, which I think could be the case this year. That doesn't mean anything to me in terms of waiting on a QB, because my QB, Pat Mahomes, is right here. Aaron Rodgers is right here. Mayfield's right here. And then Luck could be here for sure. And then it's like, Watson maybe. That's my marker board for today. This is a little mini little trip, little vacation. No one talks about, I already read that one. Josh Allen or Winston as a backup. God, I like both those guys. I don't like Winston, honestly, other than the situation that he's locked into numbers that I think he has to produce. Jameis Winston has to have like a top. He has to, right? I mean, I don't know why I rank, and I talked about this earlier on Instagram. I don't know why Winston's not like top 5 to 6 to me, because he has Godwin, Evans, OJ Howard. That offense is going to air it out. But for whatever reason, I can't rank Winston in a place that matches up where I'm projecting Godwin, Evans, and OJ Howard. Looking at those totals when I do projections, they don't match. I don't give Winston enough credit. I don't know if that says to me that I feel like even if like he can't do it, that offense will still have somebody. Who's the backup in Tampa right now? Off the top of my head, I'm blanking. Winston's going to throw 18. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think that's kind of what it's about, James, is like I think the yardage will be there. I think that they'll score, but I think Winston I don't trust. But I would say Winston probably over Allen for right now, but it's damn close. Allen is a top QB when he's running, and if he can develop his passing game, which I think he can. Yeah, I think Winston for now, based on default numbers that he's going to be locked into. 50 people in the room. Hit that thumbs up on your way in, people. I appreciate you. We're making this channel the best fantasy football channel in the business from the ground up. You guys are a part of it. We've gotten to 1,700 subscribers. I think we're at 1,700 like right now. 1,700 subscribers literally in less than 6 months. And you guys are such a awesome group. I feel like you're the most engaging that I've found, even at the 10,000, 15,000 level. Like, we have so much engagement. And I love answering your questions in the comments, so you can do that as soon as this processes. All this live chat stuff will still be available via the live chat tab, but the comments will be zeroed out when it processes. So ask me a question, drop a comment. Everybody in here is so helpful. You'll get answers from other people. It's a community, and I think you guys are going to have fun if you're just getting here for the first time. So please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and let's tear up the industry. For those that don't know about me, I've been in the business for 15 years. You can hear me on NBC Sports Radio. I'll find out. I think it's going to be Wednesday night this week instead of Tuesday. And I'll live stream that bad boy while I'm on CBS Radio. I will stream my portion of the show, hour long, right here for you guys on YouTube. What's up, Oliver? Liked. Thank you, sir. Pat Mahomes is being kept. Damn, he should be. I don't know if I missed anything. If I missed a question, please post again. I have Kamara and Michael Thomas in a keeper league. Who should I draft? Drew Brees, 2 QB. Restate that question there, Danny. Is Melvin Gordon going to follow you to Tampa if he doesn't get a contract? I don't think so. I don't think Melvin Gordon is going to be traded. I don't think that's going to... So many things have to happen for that to occur. I don't think he's better off in Tampa. They have an aerial attack that I think could do really well. But he's great in that Chargers backfield. I don't know why anybody would want him to leave. He's getting touchdowns. He's getting all the yards he can handle. He's like a 10 to 14 TD lock if in that Chargers offense, if he's playing even 15 games. So I don't know why everybody wants him to be traded. I think people just want change and drama and all that, and I get that. And that could open up the door to another starting running back. But then again, people are thinking Rojo could eventually emerge, who we're going to talk about because he's also in the news. But I think if Gordon were to go over to Tampa Bay, that takes Rojo out of the game. And does a Charger really step up? Is Jackson going to be elite? Is Eckler going to be able to step up? Will they committee that even worse than Tampa Bay is going to committee their backfield in 2019? I think you're better off in fantasy if you're looking at this big picture-wise from outside and don't own any players to have Gordon stay a Charger, be elite, and then the possibility of Rojo emerging versus Eckler or Jackson emerging, I think is greater. So Rojo's in the news. I liked Rojo heading into 2019, I'm not going to lie. And he disappointed and he shit the bed, flat out. I do feel like if anybody's capable of rebounding, of him and guys like that, where they don't have an elite year, everybody expects a lot from them, they crap the bed, their confidence gets shattered. I think Royce Freeman and Rojo, they do have a chance to, I think, rebound. I think Lindsay is locked into that running back one role. I don't think Lindsay's job's on the line. He had a wrist injury. It's not like he had an ACL or something like that. Like, I literally am not worried about Lindsay staying healthy at all. But Rojo, I think, has a better chance than Freeman, at least initially, to get a hold of that job. And the report today is that he picked up 13 pounds. So he's carrying a little bit more weight. Usually you'll hear me say, guys, that gaining weight is not a good thing for a running back, especially a running back that when it's not broken, why trying to fix it? I worry about McCaffrey with this, not enough to bump McCaffrey out of my top 5 or my top 4. But it worries me enough to say, hey, this is why McCaffrey's never ranking number 1 or number 2 for me. He's ranking 3 or 4 because I don't know why he needs to gain the weight. More weight can help you upright when you're getting hit, sure. So, I like that aspect. It's a good argument. Hey, I like the fact he got leveled left and right. But more weight hitting the ground over and over and over is not a good thing for a running back, and it makes him slow down a little bit, I think. And he's used to having that quicks being one of the things that makes McCaffrey so good, is he's quick. So I'm a little worried about the weight gain for McCaffrey. I'm not worried so much about now, and I was worried about the weight loss for Fournette. It made Fournette the biggest bust candidate. My number 1 bust candidate for 2018 was Leonard Fournette. I did not understand for the life of me why anybody had Fournette ranked anywhere near the first round, let alone the second round. And he busted on everybody that invested in him. Losing weight is a bad thing for a running back that needs that cushioning, and they're an aggressive runner like Fournette. So why do I like Aaron Jones gaining weight? Why do I like Rojo gaining weight? For starters, neither running back was delivering at the weight they were at. So it's one thing to change what isn't broken. It's another to say, hey, maybe this is the weight they should be playing at because they can't stay healthy. Now, in order for Aaron Jones to get as fit as he's gotten, he has to work hard. Working hard can help him stay healthy. And if Aaron Jones is bulking up, we don't even know if Aaron Jones is weighing a ton more. He could have trimmed down and bulked up. We don't have the numbers on that. I'd love to know what the weight difference is for Aaron Jones. But Aaron Jones had trouble staying healthy, but he was also known for being lazy and not working super hard and taking the offseason seriously. So for him to be bulking up, I'm willing to take that risk that could be a bad thing in a way. But from what? What is he? He has nothing but to improve upon his play, his ability to stay healthy. Aaron Jones to me is a perfect example of somebody that I'm like, hey, give it a shot. You look ripped. You're probably going to have a better chance of staying healthy. Go for it. Rojo, same thing. Rojo might do better at a heavier weight. And I think that if he can get stronger and kind of muscle his way into the end zone and prove to be a good goal line back, then Rojo is going to earn more and more and more playing time as he succeeds and punches a touchdown into the end zone. So I like Rojo gaining weight. I'm in a 2 QB league, fresh draft. I got the 9th pick. I don't, honestly, flow of draft means everything, Danny. I mean, I would take, to answer your question, if you know your league mates and they go quarterback in the first round and you're looking at, a big run on that, I'd rather take, if they push those elite running backs down, like a McCaffrey, a Kamara, I'd rather take one of those guys at 9 if you're talking about taking one of the tail ends of those QBs, because eventually those guys will stop drafting QBs too. And given that Roethlisberger, given that Brady and Breeze are all dropping in a 1 QB league into a, 10, 11 round range, I know that will be higher in a 2 QB league or a super flex league, but it's going to be a handful of rounds higher, not second round. So for me, I'm taking those running backs. I'm almost drafting against the flow in the grain of that draft. So if you're drafting against it, you're going to get studs. And when everybody stops and says, okay, time to fuel up on running backs and wide receivers, not many QBs are going to go between the point where everybody stopped taking them and when you're going to look at one. So if you think of it, it could backfire on you. You got to be prepared for that if you don't judge it right and you don't look at the flow. But if you think about it, if it goes QB all the way, you get Kamara or McCaffrey at 9 because people are going crazy on QBs in a superflex 2 QB league. Then all of a sudden you take McCaffrey and literally like 2 quarterbacks go between that pick. I mean, obviously if you're at 9, you're picking early in the second, but let's say like 4 or 5 quarterbacks go between your pick and your next pick versus all the running backs and wide receivers going. So if you can kind of draft against those trends, you can really clean up. Now, your 9 pick overall and your second rounder, it all depends on like if Baker Mayfield's there and if he's the top QB left. I'd maybe go, Kamara, DJ, or whoever you can get there at that pick, or I'd take Hopkins if Hopkins fell, or if it's, Adams or whatever, and then you draft like a Baker Mayfield. I'd be okay with that, depending on where Baker Mayfield's slotted in that draft. I love Kittle. There's a comment up here about Kittle. Let's see. Dog pound. Defensive question, Browns or Bills? Dog pound. Duke would be amazing in Tampa. He could be. I don't know if he's going to be traded, though. Let's see, Larry. Come on, Fournette saw so many stacked boxes. But Reynolds, I mean, I get it. But what's changed for you, though? Is he going to see less stacked boxes? Is he going to stay healthy? Is he going to make good decisions? Because he can't make good decisions off the field. He can't make good decisions on the sideline. And he's been one of those players that constantly disappoints. So I get it if you want to potentially roll that dice. But where are you going to roll it? If you're rolling it at the late 3rd, I'm okay with that. But if you're talking about, or even, 4th, I don't know. I would even take him in the 3rd, because I think your question was Mahomes. Mahomes at the top of the 3rd is a steal. I think Mahomes is worth more than that. I think Fournette is a reach in the bottom of the 3rd. So I think it's like a whole round difference for me. But if you like Fournette, man, trust your gut. Thank you guys for all the thumbs up. 54 people kind of constantly in the room. 43 thumbs up. Hit it if you haven't. Punch it. And then let's talk football. You got a question? Ask me. I agree, Smitty. I'm out on Fournette. Yeah, Terrence, I just can't do it. Not at the value. If he was like a late fourth rounder, maybe, maybe to trade him. I don't know that I'd even expect to keep him. By the way, guys, I do want to tell you, if you're new to the channel, you may not know this, that I believe to be, and I might contact Guinness Book of World Records on this, but you think I'm joking. I'm kind of joking, but kind of not. I'm hoping somebody does it for me, but because I don't have the time. But I think I'm the first ever fantasy football analyst to live stream a show on a scooter, electric scooter. And so I answer questions riding around Tempe in the district on a scooter. And I believe to be the first one to ever do that. Tampa happens to have scooters all over the place. I'm just saying, maybe tomorrow night, if I'm getting a little frisky, I might jump on an electric scooter and ride around a city I don't know. Hopefully not getting lost. Hopefully not getting a citation. And I might ask questions as I ride around. Let's see here. If I draft Damian Williams in the 15th, what do you think about taking 4 wide receivers in the first 4 rounds? If it's the best player available, Jason, I'm all for it. I'm a best player available drafter at all times. Now, where that leads me in terms of an alternate strategy, I definitely deploy other strategies inside that thinking. But the framework of every draft I do is best player available every time. If that leads me to 3 straight wide receivers and I got to go crazy thin at running back, I'll do it. If all things are equal, and I'm looking at a Mike Evans, and I'm looking at a Dalvin Cook, I will take the player that best balances my team in that situation. But because everything's equal, and I love both of them equally. So I let that guide me, and then use the positional value or whatever to dictate which player I take of the two if all things are equal. You were on that live? Yeah. It seemed to be, you know what, I almost didn't... when I do a live, I can feature it on my channel, or I can kind of not and let it just be on my live catalog of live videos. And I didn't know how that video went, and so I almost didn't. It was really late, so we didn't have as many people in the room during that live because it was, Eastern was like 4 a.m. It was like 1 a.m. or no, 12 a.m. So it was 3 a.m. Eastern, 12 a.m. West Coast. And so like right now, we always have like 50 to 60 people in the room when we do a live, and on that live it was like 10-15 people because it was so late. So I didn't know how I didn't know if I was going to post it or not, or make it featured, and everybody loves it. It was like one of my most popular videos for replays. I think this is a great year to go 0 wide receiver. It could be. I like 0 wide receiver. I like 0 running back, because the best player available will take me down either road. And I love when you have, 0 running back, auction draft, okay? Odell Beckham Jr., Mike Thomas, and Mike Evans. Mix that with Baker Mayfield, and then get a David Montgomery. Tell me that isn't a recipe to win your fantasy football league or start the best dynasty team you've ever created. Tell me. Or swap out, go Odell, Mike Thomas, George Kittle, David Montgomery, and Baker Mayfield. Tell me that's not badass. I'd take that into battle every single Sunday. I love that recipe for a team. That's going kind of 0 running back in an auction. Even though you're getting David Montgomery, you're still buying 3 big guns in Mike Evans, Mike Thomas, and Odell. Or if you swap one over to tight end and take Kittle, that's a freaking amazing start to a fantasy football team. And David Montgomery, you won't be able to do that for very much longer, guys. Right now in best ball, draft as many teams as you can with David Montgomery on him, because he's going to climb into top 20 to 25 overall value, if not 15 or 18 overall. David Montgomery's only going to climb. He's an amazing pick in best ball. He's an amazing pick in general right now, and you can build a dynasty team that has so much firepower that you shouldn't have because he's going so cheap. So I do love wide receiver, and then go get David Montgomery in an auction. Now, talking about your 0 wide receiver approach, I love that in auction too. Zeke Elliott, who I'm not worried about holding out at this point. I think him saying it all, if you missed the beginning of the show, him saying that he would, or the report by Yahoo that he would go ahead and not hold out if he thought the Cowboys had strong intentions of working something out, he would then report. That to me tells me it's a soft nudge. Hey, we need to get this done. And because he's a ticket selling machine in the face of that franchise, I think he'll get what he wants. But Zeke Elliott and Kamara in an auction, and then get maybe Mayfield. I firmly believe in getting a quarterback you think can throw for 40 TDs. That's always a recipe for winning in my book. You can build however you want. If waiting on a QB is your thing, by all means do it. If you've had success doing it, do it. I love building a team when I have a QB that I firmly believe is going to throw 40 TDs. So Baker Mayfield is the cheapest of the three that I think can. Luck could be there, but even if Baker throws for 37, 36, and runs for 4, 5, or 6, he's there. He's got his 40 TDs. So I'm okay with that kind of number. But if you go Zeke, Kamara, and Mayfield, and you go dirt cheap at your wide receivers, recipe for winning. If you go Odell, Mike Thomas, Mike Evans, Montgomery, Mayfield, recipe for winning in fantasy football. An auction, you can build that way. In a snake draft, you're more so looking, if you go 0 wide receiver, you're looking at, let's say you draft at, Kamara level. You get Kamara, you get Dalvin Cook, and then let's say you get, I'm trying to think of a wide receiver that would make sense there. And that's the part where I don't go running back, wide receiver. Oftentimes, that's when I may go Pat Mahomes, because I don't like the wide receivers in the 3rd round. I don't like taking an Adam Thielen when I feel like he's going to get less work this year. I don't like taking a T.Y. Hilton as my 3rd drafted player, even though you could say he's just not a sexy pick, but he's a good pick. I get that. That makes sense. I understand. But for me, I go Pat Mahomes because I know, in my mind at least, I know I'm getting the best player available in the entire draft from that draft slot. I think he could outscore that draft slot better than really anybody. And yet he gets crapped on as a 3rd rounder because QBs are so rich and you can get them so late. Like, whatever. You don't, obviously, if you think that way, you don't believe like I do that Pat Mahomes can get at least close to the numbers he had this year. And what people don't factor in is if he throws for less TDs, he could run for 4 or 5 or 6. Only grab Mahomes in the 1st if it's a 2 QB league. That's exactly true, Larry. Mahomes has a top of the 3rd ADP in a 1 QB league. In a 2 QB league, he could go number 1 overall. And I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. I typically would try and target him around 2 or 3 or 4 overall in a 2 QB league. In a 1 QB league, Pat Mahomes is a bargain in the top of the 3rd round. Bargain. But it doesn't mean that Aaron Rodgers isn't a bargain in the 4th round. It doesn't mean that Baker Mayfield isn't an absolute steal in the 6th or 7th round. I love all 3. My point is, in any of these strategies we're talking about, they typically involve one of those guys. So I'm taking one of those guys probably in about 80% of all of my leagues. I'm trying to see some of your questions. Sorry, guys. Larry, Robert Foster is also good. I love Robert Foster. Robert Foster, definitely in best ball too, Larry. I agree. Robert Foster could be a elite wide receiver 3 in 2019. When you're looking for a QB or a wide receiver at the end of your draft, you want somebody that has that potential. Robert Foster is your guy. I just made a trade video, Randy. You were correct, my friend. I don't know who was asking about that. Happa, I knew he was a robot. Who? Who's a robot? Pick the best player available. If I missed anything, please repost it. I can't scroll up anymore. I'm going to miss too much right now. So please ask again if I missed your question. I did not try and ignore you. I was ranting and raving. My voice is cracking. I'm going through puberty. Forgive me. When you talk as much as I do, man, you lose your voice kind of a lot. I don't ever lose it truly, like fully, but I don't know if any of you were there for my 24-hour straight live stream. I started to lose my voice about hour 4. And I was like, this is going to be really bad if I lose it. And it didn't really go away. Bat signal? I need one. But yeah, my voice. I mean, I was doing an Instagram live for like an hour or an hour and a half, whatever. So my voice does get. I don't know very many people. I venture to say I talk more than anybody I know. I mean, in general, I probably do, but I think that you won't find someone that says more words than I do that I know that I run into. Because I mean, how many lives do I do? I think between the lives, it's probably like 2 hours a day minimum. Then a video I'm recording on the side for about an hour, and then all the yes and no's to Miss Smitty. Yes, yes, Miss Smitty. No, Miss Smitty. I talk a lot. I'm just kidding. Miss Smitty's watching. She's gonna kill me. His voice is breaking up. Oh, it's not. It's not that it's cracking. You're saying that my stream is crackly. Zay Jones is okay. I don't know that I'd say he's amazing, but he's an okay prospect for sure. Didn't Zeke tell his inner circle he wouldn't hold out? That's the rumor that he's saying he would. You know, he's probably not going to hold out if he feels the Cowboys will strongly, you know, let him know that they're going to get a deal done. And I think the Cowboys aren't going to go, hey, no, we're not going to do that. So I think you can expect him not to hold out. James, Smitty, this is a long one, buddy. It's hard to do these long ones. Smitty, in 2018, Devontae Adams led all wide receivers with 50-plus receptions in RZ red zone target share of 42. Second on the list was Zay Jones at 40. It's a cool stat. I like Zay Jones. I mean, at the right price, and you can get him pretty damn good spot everywhere. Why not, my friend? DJ or Melvin? Melvin's got a 2.01 to 2.03 ADP for a reason, my friend. So DJ all the way. If Gordon were to report very quickly and didn't hold out and you know, run the risk of now having an injury for an injury-prone player to get piled onto that, you know, worrying about, oh God, he held out. Holding out can cause injury. So for me, DJ. But I do like Gordon. I want Gordon shares in at least one or two of my leagues at second-round value because I feel like that can come back and help you win a league. Any advice for a first Dynasty league? Yeah, I'd say draft the best player available at every turn. Buy the sleeperu.com subscription, and then you can email me before your pick, and I will help you. That's one way you can win your Dynasty league. So go to sleeperu.com. That's sleeper, the letter U.com, and subscribe, my friend, and I will help you. I have Ask Smitty advice where we email each other, so you can email me before. Tez, since offensive line with the Chargers is one of the worst in the league, do you think Rivers will get tackled more with a smaller back? I mean, it can't be a good thing, Tez, if Gordon isn't back there. I think Gordon will eventually be back there. It's just a matter of will he be hurt, you know, or injury prone more than normal because he held out or how long he held out. I think he'll return, but in a scenario where he doesn't return, yeah, I mean, this whole offense could fall apart, which will have Rivers not only not playing well, facing more 3-and-outs in more challenging situations, holding onto the ball longer, which will be hard to even know if that was the offensive line or just the offense itself crumbling and deteriorating because they don't have Gordon back there. So I think, yeah, all around it's going to hurt everybody. So that's why I think Gordon will be there. What's up, King? Who can attend my summit? What? Can Josh Jacobs be a third down back? He could be. I'm not going to call Jacobs a bust, but he needs to prove it. He had no real proof or resume in college, flat out. If anybody says he has a resume in college, they need to look at the numbers. He didn't. He didn't do much at all in college, but score TDs that were handed to him in an offense that could have had anyone's grandmother scoring those TDs. I'm not saying he won't be good. I'm not saying Jacobs doesn't have the frame that I like or the situation, but he has no track record whatsoever besides a double-digit TD season in 2018 and 640 rushing yards. Thank you, Tez. Glad you found us too, man. Damn glad you're here. Glad you found your new home. Pitch your tent, get ready, and get ready for the CBS show. I will stream from my angle of the show, CBS Sports Radio, longest running fantasy football show in the world, going on 23 years. I'm going to stream it live from my angle on, I believe it'll be Wednesday, so stay tuned. Larry says Sleeper U has the best form in the industry, and I agree. Zay Jones or John Brown? Well, we heard one reason why Zay Jones might be the guy here. And you know what? I'm kind of torn on either one of those guys. They're both very questionable to produce. So we'll roll with Zay Jones for the moment. Because John Brown's had enough time. Zay Jones finally has a situation that's not bad. Last pick in the draft, Josh Gordon. That's tough because if you have like N'Keal Harry, it kind of makes sense, but it's a weird, like you get laughed at move. But I wouldn't object to taking him in that scenario. But yeah, if your league's very deep, then Josh Gordon, why not? He's catching passes from Tom Brady on the side. I mean, we drafted Christine Michael for a decade or so. Why can't we draft Josh Gordon one more time? You know what I mean? Christine Michael. What a talent. What a wasted talent. Gronk, last pick. Why not? I mean, Gronk's catching passes from Tom Brady. I think Gronk lost a lot of weight. I don't know that he's coming back, to be honest with you. But yes, Tez, I'm in Tampa. The Bucks. Some people say the Bucks want Gordon. Some people say he could go to the Bucks. I don't know. I don't think it'll happen, but anything could happen. Lev Bell proved to us, and I always say this, like the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones, and just like Lev Bell in 2018, anything can happen. Anything. We need one more like to equal the amount of people in the room. 55-50. There it is. 55-55. Thank you, sir or ma'am. Gronk looks like, yeah, Gronk, thanks, King. Gronk looks like he is not even a football player anymore already, which is crazy. It could be the angle. Who knows? You know how people are. I'm watching another channel at the same time doing a mock draft. These guys are clowns. They have not picked Dalvin Cook in the middle of the third round. Yeah, I'd say that's a clown draft. How do you not take Dalvin Cook in the top 15? I don't know who you're watching. How many championships you got in the last 10 years? Dude, I don't know. That's tough because I play in a lot of leagues. I'd say if I play in 8 to 10, and I don't want to make excuses for any of the ones I do lose because I literally barely set my lineup, and some of them I prioritize based on the length of the league, if it's a high exposure league, or if I committed to one that I barely do anything with. So oftentimes I'm not active on waivers and stuff like that. So I think if I really was able to put time into it, I could win more. But I think on average I win between 3 and 6 of the 10 that I do. Which is not bad considering I'm not putting all my effort into all of them. But I mean, I'm always taking home a title, but it's just a matter of how many of those 8 to 12 leagues that I do. I'm using ESPN format for my Dynasty league, but next might use Sleeper app. How do we transfer players? I don't know. I don't use the Sleeper app. That's not me. I don't use it. I've heard about it. I tried to do a deal with those guys for the Throne League, but they didn't want any part of it. So I haven't used them. Boring topic, but will you be talking week 1 sneaky defenses? Most of the yeah, we could we could brush up against it, sure, as we get closer. I think we want to see these defenses a little bit, and past the Bears, man, you don't know who's going to go up, who's going to go down. It's hard. I'll do a strength of schedule. I'll mix that in. I'll do that. I'll do a real quick defensive breakdown, strength of schedule type of show, and say, hey, obviously caveat, things change a lot, but looking at the schedule, I like this, this, and this. This tells me you should take this guy. This tells me you should take that guy. I'll definitely do one. I'll mix it in. Good topic. But rather than picking up, so I think you're talking about what defense to stream or pick up. So in that, I'll try and reference that as well, because I think I was taking it in a different direction than you were even talking about. I started to realize that. I also need to get a new mic. I have, obviously my studio set up. Those of you that have done a studio tour with me, I've done a couple of them. I'll try and do that one on my next live. But I have, my mic set up in my chair, in my little control center. But I have, my marker board and my magnetic board. And I don't have a good mic overhead. So I'm going to buy one tonight, buy an arm, connect it all, make sure I have everything set up so that I can walk over and have really good sound, just like I am behind the mic there. So my studio will become more usable that way, and I'll have a lot more like moving around in my studio type shows, which will be cool because I'll be like in the chair, I'll move over to the board, do a mock draft with you guys, get on the marker board, start doing trade type evaluations and lessons right on the marker board. We're going to be a full-fledged classroom up in this mug. Let the draft come to you, Terry, says Larry, bringing the knowledge from the Larry College. Smitty, do you have... Yeah, Olsen. I like Olsen. Freeman, if Freeman gets hurt, Olsen could be the guy. Now, I'll be honest, I feel a little bit late to the game on Olsen. I didn't have him really highly ranked, and I hadn't watched a lot of film on him. I'm being real here, rather than just tell you, I saw this coming from a mile away. It's still July. We can come up with stuff in July and still be innovators in the fantasy football space, right? Olsen, who some of you have been super high on, so I give credit to those of you tossing him out constantly. But I think Olsen could be really, really legit. And if you watch him on film, he's like a bulldozer, man. He takes every carry like into the end zone. Like no one wants to go near this guy. He doesn't have the frame of like if you guys remember Brandon Jacobs, he was huge, similar to like Fournette, or you don't want to tackle him, or Derrick Henry. This guy's built like a typical bigger, but like not massive running back, so he can withstand I think some of that bruising for at least a little while. But he runs like that, like barreling over people, man. You don't want to get in this guy's way. He's like a train, like a freight train. I think we should call him something Olsen, the freight train, whatever. But the Olsen train or whatever. But that guy is going to be, if he gets in there, going to be pretty good. So I'm all about that. The only problem is they pass more than they run in Atlanta now, heading into 2019. So we'll see what happens if he gets in there and he's not a good pass catcher. I don't know too much about his ability to pull in the passes, but I do like him. Olsen is pretty damn good. Keep him on your radar. In Dynasty, he should be grabbed. So, thoughts on Josh Oliver? I'll look into him a little more. I'm sorry. So, Sleeper I can use that format for my Dynasty League. Yeah, you can, Danny. Go to sleeper.com and definitely look at that. Subscription is $29 for the whole year, for the whole season, and it comes with one-on-one advice with me, so I can help you all year. What happened with Lindsay? Philip Lindsay is 100%. If you're looking at the title of this live show, his wrist is back to 100. So look for him to get back to his regular self, and I think he's going to dominate in 2019 if he's healthy. Dominate meaning he's going to be a top, 8 to 12 running back, or even you could say 8 to 14. And Freeman could take away carries. They could use both running backs. They will use both running backs, but I don't think Lindsay's got a chip on his shoulder still, man. And I like Lindsay a lot at 4th and 5th round value. More so 5th round value. I got him in a mock draft when I did a mock draft with you guys live here on YouTube the other night. I got Lindsay, I believe, in the 5th round, right? For those of you in that. And that was fantastic value. Caribbean Kid, your content is the best out there. Thank you, sir. Christian Kirk or Marvin Jones. I go Kirk. But you could argue that, but I go Kirk. One more sub for 1,700. We aren't at 17. I thought we were 17 when we went on the show. Give it a little refresh. If you haven't subscribed, go be number 1,700 right now. Let me pull up my laptop because I don't want to leave this. You better be at 1,700 or I'm going to be. I'm going to refresh. I better see it. Oh, damn. Got to sign into my Wi-Fi here. Hold on. All right, I'm checking. What the hell? You guys got any more questions for me? Let me sign into Wi-Fi here. Last deep question. Does the Geist news change anything? I've heard Bryce Love's name come up in deeper circles. Peterson. So, yeah, obviously this helps AP a little bit that Geist is hurt, but, you know, we still could see, you know, Geist get healthy enough to dominate down the stretch in 2019. He's very capable. I went on a live here and on Instagram and said that Darius Geist, the recipe for him to dominate in fantasy football is if the team eases him along slowly and if he eases himself along slowly. But a guy coming back from ACL injury like that can't just go full go. Pedal to the metal, or you're going to tear something or hurt something because you overcompensate. I tore my patellar tendon off my kneecap. See that, puppy? I know a little bit about knee injuries. I tore my patellar tendon off my kneecap. I'm an avid runner. Let me plug my phone in. I'm about to die here. Ugh. I'm an avid runner. I run a ton. Does that mean that my knees or my quads and all that are all good to go? No, it doesn't. You know why I tore my patellar tendon? Because for like 10 years, 20 years, my patellar tendons were taking a brunt of the work. They were taking all of that force because my thighs weren't properly, you know, taking all of the force and everything. So Geist may be running quick. Geist may look good in drills. Geist may look fast, but that doesn't mean that Geist is ready. He could overcompensate in all those other areas and tear a hammy. He could overcompensate and tear something again in his knee. Just because you can run fast, just because you're back to training, doesn't mean your body's ready. When you've torn your ACL, this goes for Cooper Kupp as well. Everybody's on this Cooper Kupp trend where they're taking Cooper Kupp in the freaking 4th round, which is ridiculous. The guy won't be ready. If he tries to be ready, he's going to tear something else. He's going to tear his hamstring. He's going to tear something. He's not ready. Your body needs more time. So this Cooper Kupp crap in the 4th round is going to get you in trouble. If you start drafting Cooper Kupp in the 4th round, you're going to be extremely disappointed, I think. Now, could he return to form someday? Sure. Could he get eased along and have a disappointing start and do well? Yeah, but if he pushes it pedal to the metal, like Geist was trying to do, you're going to overcompensate and tear something else. Lev Bell or Mixon, PPR. Lev Bell by a lot in my book. I don't like Mixon unless you're getting him in late 2nd round range, and that's just my call. That's the way I look at it. I said that about Connor and got yelled at constantly. I said that about Gurley and got yelled at constantly, and I'm sure I'm going to get screamed and yelled at and called a moron and all that for having Mixon in my bottom of the 2nd round. But watch. Edelman or... come on, Dylan. Dylan, I love you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, Dylan. I truly am. Don't take this the wrong way. But Edelman or Evans, are you kidding me? Dylan, where are you getting your content normally? Because someone brainwashed you into thinking Edelman was even close to Evans. Evans is a top potential 5 wide receiver. Edelman, I wouldn't take where everyone's taking him. He has this like really high 4th round value, which is so freaking head scratching just because he had some stats last year and did well. People are not taking into account all the other variables. The fact that he has had trouble staying healthy. Yes, you could say that overall, in terms of missed games, taking that one full season out of it, maybe he's not as injury prone as people claim. But boy, this one isn't even close. But please, Dylan, don't take that the wrong way. I didn't mean to scare you off and scream at you. I shouldn't do that to new peeps. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. Are you still with us? That's not the way to... That's not... That's not very wholesome of me, bro. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Forgive me, bro. Come back. Come back. Henry, I am on another show, and they don't believe me that I won 2 high-stakes 6-figure contests. Okay? What show are you talking about? At the end of the drafts, Hollywood Brown and Metcalf or Mecole Hardman. I'm going to go with DK or Hardman. Hollywood's going to take a little while on that offense. They're doing a mock draft. It's such a joke. I said, please let me play with you guys for money. Henry, DM me the, if you're on Instagram, DM me the link or whatever. AB in the 3rd round, Dynasty? Absolutely. Dylan, come back. Dylan. I'm yelling at him like Wilson and Castaway. You're okay. You're okay. Never again. Never again, Dylan. I promise. No, Dylan. 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 Damn it. Longest lap. Take a lap, Dylan. Dylan's taking a lap. I started a new regime last night that if you, I did this on Instagram, if you screw up and you say something stupid in a live, you take a lap. If you're at home, take a lap around your house, or at least in your room. If you're at work, you have to leave your office or your desk, take a lap around the building. We're not putting up with this shit anymore. Dylan? Dylan? Dylan might be trying to retract that pre-draft or trade. Dylan, come back. Seriously. Dylan. Dylan, I'm not moving on until you come back. I shouldn't have yelled at you. Please come back, Dylan. Dylan. Let me cue up the Castaway music. Dylan! Dylan! Has Dylan come back yet? I hate typing with one hand. Dylan! 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 Dylan's not coming back, guys. Damn it. I always do that. I always take it too far. Shit. He's back? Dylan? I'm looking. Dylan? I don't see him. I don't see Dylan. Don't lie to me, Henry. Or no, who said that? Ryan. Ertz in the 2nd round is too high. I agree. You know who's not too high? Kittle in round 3. Kittle is a steal in round 3. Hendy, I got in the 7th last night. Good job, Henry. First, Haba, now Dylan. God, what am I doing? Why am I scaring people away? Oh, God. Dylan! Aaron Jones for Ingram and Hendy. Which side? In a dynasty, I take Ingram and Hendy because I think Ingram could be freaking undervalued in 2019. No question about it. I mean, do I like Aaron Jones more? Yeah, but Ingram's very undervalued. And somebody asked me about Justice Hill earlier, and I didn't answer him. Sorry. If you're still watching, I like Justice Hill a lot. And on the Sleeper U forums, Sleeper U, the letter U.com, like Sleeper University, sleeperu.com, not YOU, sleeperu.com. Go there. On the forum, we're talking about Justice Hill kind of a lot. You have Ertz, Kittle, and Ian Thomas. Well, trade Ertz while you can and keep Kittle. Kittle's going to go crazy. Damn, Dylan. Sorry, Dylan. Dylan left. Dylan left fast, too. I feel like I apologized kind of quickly. Yeah, Justice Hill could be good. Edelman is going to eat this year. No Gronk, just saying. Okay, David. Well, I'm not saying he can't do well, but I don't think you should spend a high 4th round value or 4th round pick on Edelman. I think it's way too high. You passed on Kittle in the 3rd last night for Fournette. No! Dylan, if Dylan comes back, Dylan, I'm going to give you a free membership to sleeperu.com to say sorry. Henry, I'm taking Edelman all day in the 4th. Well, we won't agree on everything, my friend. And I'm not going to yell at you. Larry, I can't yell at you. You already have access, but funny guy. Edelman will outscore Mike Evans this year. Smitty and Dylan made that happen. Jared's trying to use karma against me. Evans could get hurt, and then maybe Edelman does. But Edelman, I do not believe. This will be a funny show to watch back as it makes Dylan into a fantasy analyst star, and Dylan's going to have his own show. If my 1.5 comes down to Kyler and Harry, who do you take? First of all, Harry should be going 1.1. So that should answer your question right there, my man. Take Harry and run for the hills. But I do think that if something bad happened to Todd Gurley, you would see a guy like Henderson be, worth that. But Harry's my 1.01, bro. Harry is going to be a top 1 to 4 fantasy football wide receiver in 1 to 3 years. N'Keal freaking Harry is a top 4 wide receiver of the future. You get him at that range, you're cleaning up, my friend. What did you say about Zeke? You still taking him at 1.04? Hell no, Henry. I'm taking him at 1.02. Zeke is my 1.02, and I'm not worried about this yet. Could that change? Yeah, but I think that his little softening the blow, or Yahoo's at least reporting that he is definitely willing to nix, quote unquote, the holdout if the team is serious about giving him a deal. No question about Zeke remaining my number 2 overall, not my number 4, my number 2. Roger, Harry gets 1,000 yards this year. Damn straight he does, man. N'Keal Harry's the freaking real deal. N'Keal Harry, I went on in, I think, March and made a sign on one of my signs up in my studio, which I don't have here because I'm here in Tampa for the next couple days. But I made a sign that said N'Keal Harry will be a top, or I made a sign and did an announcement. N'Keal Harry will be a top 1 to 4 wide receiver. Not just top 4, top 1 to 4. I'm actually telling you he has a potential to be the number 1 overall fantasy football wide receiver. 1 to 4 in 1 to 2 years, meaning we'll start seeing that in year 2, And entering year 3, we will be talking about him being one of the most elite fantasy football wide receivers in the game. I'm going to take Damian Williams in the second round. Logan, take him as late as you can in the second round, because if you have a high second round pick, there's a decent chance he could be there in the third for you. But Damian Williams for sure is worth that. Just make sure you cuff him. If you can't cuff him, you might want to take a safer player. But I think if you cuff him, you're looking at gold. Harry will lead the Patriots in receiving TDs. I think that's very possible. Brian says, would Harry still be good without Brady throwing to him? Well, how did DeAndre Hopkins, and this is a question I'm not yelling at anybody. Brian, how did DeAndre Hopkins do before Watson got there? How did Calvin Johnson do before Stafford got there? I think he'll mature with Brady, and he'll make sure that he makes his QB great, whoever his QB ends up being. And I think that, yes, there's definitely a shot of him not even missing a beat, really, because elite wide receivers make it happen and make their QBs great. Did Dylan come back, or are you just talking about him? Dylan is a legend. Dylan gets a free membership if Dylan can come back. Hopkins had a really crappy 2014 with a crap QB. Yeah, but Hopkins also has done okay without an elite QB, and Calvin Johnson did. A lot of wide receivers can. Dylan! Hold on. Dylan, never again. Dylan, I'll never yell at you again. Dylan, you get a free membership to sleeperu.com. Okay? I'm sorry. Is this the same Dylan? One of you creative mother effers out there create a new account, and I got to scroll all the way back up to see if this is the same Dylan that I yelled at, because you creative guys are capable of doing that. I think it is. Hell. Dylan? Dylan, let's see, how am I going to do this? I'm going to send you an invite, Dylan. And I apologize, Dylan. Dylan's the GOAT. Let me see. Dylan, go to sleeperu.com and email me right now. Go through my contact form. Dylan is tonight's big winner. Welcome home, Dylan. Dylan is the man. Dylan endured. Dylan ate crow. And Dylan is better for it. And he rose on top. He's never going to rank Mike Evans below Edelman ever again. But Dylan is going to be the GOAT. Dylan, this is how GOATs are legends are made on the show and on sleeperu.com. It's moments like this that you get handed like legendary status. And honestly, I think you're going to be a legend on this channel now. Balls Life says you can yell at me. Hey, Smitty, what you doing in Tampa? Just on a little trip. Dylan's the man. Dylan. So glad Dylan's back. It makes me feel... It'll probably make me sad all night that Dylan never came back. It's funny how one little thing like that can bother me. I'll be like, Dylan left. Come back, Dylan. You got to watch that replay, Dylan, if you ended up leaving and didn't hear all that. You were like the hit for like 5 minutes. Okay, so real quickly, what I'm going to do is paste in a link. And that link is going to be... Go find a scooter. I should. I'm going to do it tomorrow night. Make for it to be a fun little night. How you feeling about Paris Campbell, Larry? I like Paris. I like his situation. I think he could definitely be pretty damn good. I don't know about his first year, but, you know, you don't hear enough about Deshaun Hamilton. I don't know. He's okay. Okay, Dylan, I'm going to, give me 1 second, Dylan. I'm going to send a link to all of you right now. Okay, so Dylan, if you haven't emailed me yet, just wait a second. And I'm going to send you a friend, or give you guys a link that will allow you to connect here on Messenger, and then you and I can chat, and I can give you your free membership to sleeperu.com. So give me a second here. Let me go to, I'm gonna paste a link right in here, you guys. Dylan's a ghost. Dylan's ghost. Oh, Edelman or Evan? Dylan's ghost. What are you asking me that question for? Dylan's a legend. Okay, I'm going to paste this in right now into the chat. Where's the live chat? Live chat. Okay. See that link right there? That link right there. Click on it, everybody. Everybody click on that. Dylan, click on that link right above. Right above where you said, hey. Click on that link and add me as a friend on YouTube Messenger. And that way I will message you and you and I will work out giving you a coupon code so that you don't have to pay for sleeperu.com in 2019 because you're the man. No word on Tyreek's decision yet. I'll pull up the news right now and find out. But Dylan's ghost. Dylan's ghost, you do the same thing and I'll give you a $5 off coupon just for being creative and spending the time in creating an account, Dylan's ghost. Because Dylan's a legend now here at the Fantasy Football Show. So everybody click that link, though, above. I'll paste it one more time. This link will let you and me connect on YouTube Messenger, which we will be using more and more in the future. I'm trying to gain a lot of people and people on that so that we can use it and utilize it. I'll do some giveaways for it, things like that. Let me pull up some news and notes and see if there's any other people worth talking about right now in fantasy football 2019. Dylan, click that link right above. I almost yelled at you. Just kidding. Right above, click that link, connect with me on Messenger, and then I will send it to you in an instant message on YouTube. YouTube has now a new messaging feature where you can message between people. Dylan, I'm not mad at you. Don't be rude. I'm not being rude. I'm not being rude anymore, Dylan. I'm not upset with you. Dylan. Do I need to take a lap? Was I that bad? Dylan, I'm giving you a free membership. What's fake? There's another fake Dylan. Oh. Look at that. That guy made a fake Dylan. Dylan. The real Dylan. This is going to be so confusing. Thank you guys for making this so confusing. The fake there's two fake Dylans. One fake Dylan says that I got mad at him. The next fake Dylan. Okay, so real Dylan, message me through that feature. Let me see if you already did it. I'm so confused. I was so confused for a second. I'm like, Dylan's really upset. Oh, God. You guys are crazy. Okay. Dylan. The real Dylan is... BR. I don't even know which one of you is real. God. Sons of bitches, man. Oh, man. Dylan, message me. Connect with me, and we'll figure it out. Smitty, should I trade the 40 and 41 overall pick for the 22 and 99? I think I might, bro. I think I might. Yeah, I'm trying to look closely. There's 2 accounts with the same exact Dylan name, both fake. Oh. Smitty, the fantasy advice abuser. I'm thinking I might. You thinking you might what? I think I missed 2. Smitty, should I trade? Okay, sorry, that was your question. Let's look at ADP. Let's look at ADP right now, and I'll tell you. Hold on a second. All right. All right, let's look at ADP. Hands free. I'll tell you what ADP says, and then we'll tell you. If you guys got other trade offers, throw them out. Let's go over some trade stuff. And then I'm going to probably call it a night after that, but we're not done yet. We're only 80 minutes into the show. That's how we roll. Hit that thumb. Whoa, 75 thumbs up, or thumbs up. Attaboy. Attaboys and girls. Okay, so 22 overall. We're talking about Mike Evans sometimes falling to 21, which is absolutely crazy. I don't think I'd count on that. Nick Chubb could fall. Oh, man. I don't know how I'm going to determine which Dylan. You sons of... All you fake Dylans better at least be subscribed if you're going to put me through this crap. So, fake Dylan, subscribe to the show, please. At least do that, or I'm going to yell at you and not give you a free sub. Rojo plus Gesicki or Freeman plus Herndon. I take, if that's Devonta Freeman, I take Freeman because I think he could have pretty good value. What happened with David Johnson? David Johnson is, so we haven't gone over David Johnson, and he's in the news in the title. David Johnson, news today suggesting that David Johnson is going to get back into the mix of being the focal point of that offense. So there just was a little bit of news about him. No injury or anything. I just think David Johnson's worth talking about. The fact that, he could rebound and become one of the best PPR players in fantasy football. Very, 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 very capable of being a machine again in 2019. Should I drop Zeke? No, Nick. They're all fakes. They might be, come to think of it. Oh. I don't know what to do in this at this point. I don't know which one's real. I don't know if any of them are real. I don't know what's real anymore. Back to Rapture. Sorry about your question. Nick Chubb, Damian Williams, and Antonio Brown could follow that 22 pick, Silver. So you're talking about pick 40 and 41. I mean, I show ADP where sometimes David Montgomery falls there, but that would be crazy. So in this terms of this ADP, David Montgomery and Brandon Cooks, or David Montgomery and let's see, like a Ridley. I would like that, but I don't think David Montgomery's going to fall. I think you're looking at, at 40, a Cooks and a Lindsay. It's a tough one, man. That's a tough one to do. I mean, if you landed the right players, I'd rather have 40 and 41, but I just don't know who's going to fall to you. So that's why that's going to be a tough call. Looking back, you could regret it, or you might want to do it. It could go either way. I got to plug my phone in. Hold on. My bad, Smitty. Oh, yeah, really, Ghost? You're bad? What's your bad, Ghost? The fact that we don't know who the real Dylan is anymore, or that you didn't clarify in your question? Tell me which one you feel bad about. My bad, Smitty. I need to be more clear. Rojo plus Gesicki or Royce Freeman plus Herndon. Wow, both two of those guys that didn't deliver last year, and both tight ends, I don't know where I'd even rank or draft them. I'd probably say Rojo has a better chance of starting sooner, so probably the Rojo side. But I mean, that's pretty darn even. That's one of those trades where you're like, how does it even help? Because both of them are on the exact same spot. Yeah, 40 and 41 could be gems. If gems fell, you'd regret making that trade. So, I mean, if I'm you, I'd try and trade those two for a higher pick. Nice, you made it. Mercado, attaboy. Give me a thumbs up. I heard Tampa. Can you make a question? I heard Tampa can make you question what is real. Yeah, this rain is weird here. It rains like every day. I've never even heard that before. Dylan, would you accept Edelman for Evans? Would you accept Edelman for Evans and Montgomery? I don't know if you're real, Dylan. Would the real Dylan please message me? You get into 2020 class talk. I will very, very soon. Do not worry, Webb. We will be there very shortly. What do you think will who have a better PPR year, McCaffrey or DJ? I think McCaffrey. Big Jim. I mean, I draft him ahead of DJ, so, and they're all PPR machines. All the top 5 running backs really are. Dylan, you're trying. Okay, hold on. You're trying to click that link, Dylan? I don't even know who's real anymore. All right, guys. Well, this is a good show. Dylan, email me. The real Dylan, please. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Please don't really make it more complicated for me. I'm just asking you as a loyal fan. Please send me a email. Go to SleeperU. That's SLEEPER, the letter U.com. I'm a fakie. Sorry, Smitty. It's okay. You made this very entertaining, but I mean, I don't care that you made it that complicated. It's actually funny. Made for a good show. But when I say email me, Dylan, please, the real Dylan, email me. All right. That's a coin toss as well. Dylan. Let me see. Dylan, I'm going to paste the link in one more time, okay? So you're going to need to go to this link. Go to this link right here that I just pasted in. Click on it. It should allow you to add me to your YouTube Messenger. All right, guys, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for subscribing. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up on the way out, please. Helps the channel grow. And you will see me live here shortly. But I will be doing another second round mock draft video, which will probably talk about Melvin Gordon, who I had in the first round video. I haven't done round 2 yet in a video. So I'm going to do that video here this week. I will also do another mock draft at some point, either this week or this weekend. And that'll be live on YouTube, so anybody can jump in, first come, first serve. I will also do another trade video. If you haven't seen my trade video, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the news stuff that we do. I'm going to start doing more of a news show that'll be, fresh news that day, but recorded like an hour or two earlier in really quick hitting, awesome format with graphics and stuff like that. So I'll be posting that here. That's the kind of stuff you can look forward to this week on YouTube. But get on my Instagram if you haven't already. My Instagram handle is the same username here on YouTube, which is The Fantasy Football Show. Also, Carrie is reminding me to talk to you about the Fantasy Football Summit 2019, which we are going to be unleashing on the 20th and 21st. So, Carrie, do you have a link for that you can post in here? The East Coast YouTube show is great, says Larry. I'm glad you liked it. I'll try and do another one before I leave here. Tomorrow, maybe I'll do a live on a scooter. Roto scooter. But post a link, Carrie, in the chat here, and then also post it on the comments of the video. A link where people can buy tickets to Fantasy Football Summit 2019, where we have tons of industry experts interviewed. I interview some of them. Carrie interviews the others, and they just give you tons of knowledge. We're talking about like 2 days worth of fantasy football interviews and conversations with some of the best in the industry, and that will be fun to watch. And you can get $10 for a seat to that. It's only $10, and you can watch 2 days worth of Summit videos. Thank you, Billy. I'm ending the show, so Carrie, post a link in the comments. Once it processes, YouTube will then allow you to post a comment, and all the comments will be, starting over from 0. So post a comment there, and it'll be in the comments here shortly, guys. Thank you very much. Peace out from Tampa.